Before empires or heroes, a whisper crossed Olympus, prophecy of a child whose courage would command the dawn of history. In Macedon's marble halls, Queen Olympias dreamed of thunder, divine fire entering her womb, forging destiny in silence. King Philip returned from conquest, unaware that beneath his roof, destiny stirred, a storm waiting to wear a crown. Delphi's oracle proclaimed, "A child of lightning will bridge mortals and gods." The air trembled with sacred certainty. Thunder split the heavens. A child was born. His cry echoed prophecy beneath Macedon's storm. Above his cradle floated twin flames, symbols of courage and wisdom, fate's earliest promise written in living light. From childhood, his eyes chased horizons, seeking knowledge, greatness, and the edges where dream and destiny entwine. Philip watched the boy's fierce curiosity and whispered, "The gods lend him fire. May wisdom temper its flame." Olympias taught faith beyond temples, kindness as strength, patience as power. Her lessons became his quiet armor. Aristotle arrived, a sage with scrolls and stars, teaching that the mind, when sharpened, could conquer more than swords. Nightly, Alexander studied constellations, seeing his reflection among stars, believing destiny could be learned through wonder. He tamed Bucephalus not with force, but light, turning the wild beast toward the sun until fear dissolved. Philip's pride swelled. "Seek kingdoms greater than mine," he declared, eyes shining with awe and surrender. Prophecies followed like shadows. Each victory of learning whispered destiny's name louder than any trumpet. He read of Achilles and Hercules, dreaming of deeds beyond their legends, driven by awe, not envy. His mind drew maps of lands unseen, every line a heartbeat of curiosity stretching beyond Macedon's edge. Olympias warned, "Greatness without grace destroys kings." He smiled, unaware destiny had already set its snare. Omens multiplied, eagles circling temples, stars flaring at noon, signs etched into Macedon's breathless sky. He questioned the gods' silence, feeling greatness like a storm pressing from within, waiting to break. At dawn, he climbed Macedon's hills, wind singing promise, while beyond the horizon, destiny stirred awake. Thus began his legend, the boy of thunder, born not to follow fate, but to redefine it forever. The boy who once watched storms now faced a new tempest, training, discipline, and the weight of royal expectation. Morning bells echoed through Macedon, a prince awakened not by comfort, but the relentless rhythm of destiny's call. His tutors taught philosophy and command, but his heart learned patience, the quiet strength behind all storms. Through scrolls and steel, he learned balance, when to speak as king and when to listen as student. Each sunrise found him atop the palace steps, breathing courage into his soul before the day's lessons began. Aristotle showed him nature's secrets, the logic of stars, the voice of rivers, the law binding every kingdom together. From soldiers, he learned discipline. From poets, he learned empathy, the perfect union of heart and crown. Every scar, every failure became a verse in the song of his becoming, a melody the gods hummed softly. He mastered silence as others mastered swords, knowing that wisdom spoke loudest when words were few. Philip watched with pride. The boy he fathered was now the mirror of a king he hoped to be. Days stretched into years. The prince's shadow grew long, reaching across Macedon like destiny's quiet promise. He studied maps until dawn, seeing beyond borders, imagining worlds yet unnamed, lives yet touched by his command. Warriors came to teach tactics, but Alexander taught them vision, fighting not for land, but for the legacy of mankind. He led mock battles, turning play into prophecy, and every victory whispered of empires unborn. At night, his dreams roamed deserts, seas, and stars. Echoes of journeys destiny had already begun to write. Aristotle's lessons ended, but his words remained, "True power commands the self before commanding nations." Now, a youth of purpose, Alexander's spirit burned brighter than the Macedonian sun that crowned his coming. The palace walls could no longer contain his hunger for knowledge, adventure, and the whisper of destiny's wind. Every lesson carved purpose deeper into him, shaping not just a prince, but a legend in waiting. As dusk fell, the horizon shimmered, his destiny no longer a dream, but a summons. Thus ended his youth, the prince now ready to claim his place among gods and kings. War drums thundered through Macedon. Childhood faded as the prince stood, destined to rise a conqueror. Philip's armies gathered, their banners gold with pride, yet all eyes turned to the young lion beside the throne. At 16, he led his first battle, commanding men older than his dreams, with courage older than fear. He fought not for glory, but for unity, each victory stitching the divided lands beneath one rising sun. Whispers of prophecy returned. The boy of thunder now commands storms. Even the gods paused to watch. Philip's empire expanded, yet shadows grew. Envy, betrayal, and fate's cold breath stirring behind royal curtains. One fateful night, the crown trembled. Philip struck down by treachery's blade, leaving destiny's throne unguarded. At dawn, Alexander stood before the silent crown, its reflection burning in his eyes like fire awaiting command. Macedon mourned, yet hope rose anew. The prince became king, sworn to fulfill his father's unfinished dream. The young king rode through his capital, met not with fear, but faith, a nation reborn beneath his reign. He united warring tribes through mercy and strength, turning rivals into allies beneath one son of Macedon. From Greece to Thrace, his name became thunder, his march a hymn of purpose across the trembling earth. He learned that conquest was not in destruction, but in building bridges, heart to heart, kingdom to kingdom. Before each battle, he prayed not for victory, but for clarity, to serve purpose, not pride. His voice carried over thousands. We fight not for greed, but for the dawn of tomorrow's peace. With each victory, he grew quieter, knowing that true kings carry not crowns, but burdens unseen by men. Messengers from every land brought tribute and awe, yet Alexander's eyes still searched distant horizons unclaimed. Whispers reached him. Persia, vast and proud, a slumbering empire awaiting his rise as storm gathered. He stood before his generals, flame in his tone, to conquer not the world's lands, but its limits. Night fell soft, but destiny stirred louder, his empire to be waiting beyond the dark horizon. Thus rose the conqueror, the boy of prophecy, now king of purpose, whose fire would soon ignite the world. Dawn kissed Macedon farewell. The air trembled with drums and dreams as Alexander began his fateful march eastward. Behind him lay childhood. Before him stretched empire. Every step echoed through time like the heartbeat of ambition. Through deserts and rivers, through storms of doubt, he carried a vision larger than borders, older than kings. In Anatolia, he liberated Greek cities chained by Persia's grasp, his banner fluttering like dawn reclaiming the night. Every victory was a promise to unite East and West, not in conquest, but in shared destiny. He studied the stars for signs. The constellations whispered courage. The horizon shimmered with unseen gods. Before crossing into Asia, he poured wine into the sea, an offering to fate's uncertain tide. The first Persian outpost fell swiftly, speed and mercy his weapons, not cruelty. Even enemies bowed to such nobility. Rumors of the young Macedonian storm spread across Asia. Some feared him, others awaited him like prophecy fulfilled. At Gordium, he faced the fabled knot, bound by legend, defied by brilliance. He cut it, freeing destiny itself. One stroke sparked legend. Some saw defiance, others divine will. Alexander smiled, knowing destiny favored boldness. He crossed rivers under lightning and rain, his soldiers singing songs of hope that drowned the thunder. In Cilicia, illness struck him. For days, his camp held its breath until the king rose again. Even at death's edge, he refused rest, Fate waits for no man who fears tomorrow. His legend deepened. He marched onward toward the Persian heartland, where the true test of courage awaited. Across plains and mountains, his men followed, bound by faith, not fear. His dream had become their heartbeat. At the river Granicus, the two worlds finally met, steel against strategy, faith against empire. He charged first, fearless, his courage igniting his soldiers like wildfire under divine wind. When the dust cleared, Persia's banner fell. The world gasped. A new age dawned beneath Alexander's sun. He stood upon victory's edge, whispering to the wind, "This is only the beginning." Thus began the march that changed civilization, his name carried by rivers, stars, and time itself.